Hi guys, it's Sarah, the owner and creator of Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. If you haven't yet, please feel free to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below. If you hit the bell, you'll be notified when new videos are posted. I try to post weekly if possible. Next weekend I probably won't be posting just because it is the holiday weekend and we will be traveling, but I'll try my best. A huge video today, you guys. We're gonna start with the shop update, and I have so much to share with you. Oh my goodness. So I'm super excited. Advent season, you guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's almost December 1st. If you want an Advent and you don't have one yet, I have a couple available still. I can't believe it. I do still have a couple available. I do have 5 available. So if you do want to get one, hop on over to multifariousnature.com. I'll include the link below, and I can't guarantee you'll get it by December 1st since that is right around the corner. If you live really close to me, maybe the shipping service will get to you fast, but if you don't, I do apologize. You might not get it in time, but it will still be so much fun to open. So I want to put that out there for you guys. And this is what you will be getting. You will get the entire Advent, almost the entire Advent will be in this. They're all individually wrapped, starting with day 1 through 24. They're wrapped in here. There are little goodies hidden throughout. And then on Christmas Day, the 25th, there is a full-size 100-gram skein. There are 24 20-gram mini skeins in here. It is on my Peruvian Highland wool base. Excellent base. It's so nice and cozy and warm. So if you are still looking for an Advent, I do still have some in my shop. So there you have that. That had to be said first because that's like super important. If you want to order it, please do so now. Next, I actually dyed up a bunch of new colorways, you guys. So one thing in my shop that I know that I am lacking when I started looking at all of my colorways is I have a lot of wonderful rich colors, but I don't have a lot of really bright contrasty colors. And after working on the shellography and doing some brioche, I realized I want more like vibrant colors. So there's be some good contrast, especially for those brioche knitters out there. Or if you want to marl yarn together, it's excellent when you do some contrasty colors. It does really cool stuff. If you haven't done it before, I highly recommend trying it. Brioche and marling yarn. But these are the colorways I've dyed up. And I hope you're just as excited as I am because I am ecstatic. I love how they turned out and I cannot wait to work with them. So the first one is Peachy. It is a beautiful peachy colorway. This is on my BFL base, so it's blue-faced BFL. We're just going to go with that. BFL and nylon base. So technically this is a fingering weight. It is considered a sock yarn. You can see it's a really nice fluffy plied yarn, and I cannot wait to work with all of these there. That's a little bit better of the color representation. I do apologize with the lighting. It's always tricky this time of year, so you see there's a little bit of speckling throughout here, very subtle speckling. The speckling that I've done is very subtle on these. It would make some gorgeous socks, but like I said, it's subtle speckling, so it would be excellent for brioche as well. So if you're looking for something just to add an extra dimension to your brioche, brioche has amazing dimension on its own when you do great contrasting colors, but when you add some depth with these speckles, it just adds a whole other layer, which I have some speckling in my squash colorway as well in my shellography that I will show you, and it just adds this extra layer of depth. So I love this colorway, Peachy, and those are currently in the shop. So there's that one. The next colorway is Strawberry Shortcake. How fun is this, you guys? So I haven't dyed up any like vibrant pinks, and I really wanted at least one. I am not a huge pink person, but I love this colorway. This just made me think of my childhood, and I'm just so I don't know what it is about this time of year, but I just am, this excited me so much. So this is Strawberry Shortcake. This is also on that BFL nylon base. So you can see that again, that wonderful fluffiness, which have beautiful stitch definition. Excellent for socks as well, but it's a tonal. So a lot of these new colorways are tonals, but there's a few that have some speckling, and I would of course point that out to you. This is definitely a tonal. And the next one is Frost. And it is this beautiful frosty gray blue, very, very light, excellent as a contrast color. It would even go really well with the other new colorway that I just dyed up. But it is just, it reminds me of the frost on the lakes, you know, that, and even on our porch deck and our plants outside. So this is Frost. Again, a tonal, very light and subtle, excellent as a contrast. And then the next colorway is, oops, I got them out of order, Minty Fresh. And it is this super fun minty colorway. I love it. Very pastel. Like I did a couple. These are kind of pastel for me. I normally don't do pastels, but these are excellent if you're doing brioche, if you want some really good contrast. High contrast in brioche is key. It really shows off your stitch definition, your patterning. I've done basic brioche, but you can do some really intricate designs with brioche, and I'd love to try some at some point, and these would be excellent colorways for that. So this is Minty Fresh, very subtle tonal, and it's just, I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, the next colorway is, and that actually was on my merino nylon base. So again, a fingering weight. I mainly dye on fingering weight. And excellent for socks as well. Next one is the Lake of Shining Waters. And if you are a big Anne of Green Gables fan, as I am, you would recognize that reference, I'm sure. I think I've watched every Anne of Green Gables that's out there. So this is just, that's what it reminds me of. It has some beautiful sheen to it and wonderful tonality and depth. I just love it. And it does. It's the Lake of Shining Waters. It just, that's what it looks like to me when I think of it. And I love how Anne of Green Gables saw the world. And yeah, Lake of Shining Waters. That's exactly what this colorway is. And I think this with Frost is beautiful. It's a very subtle contrast, but I think it would just be gorgeous knit up together. But if you wanted some high contrast, you of course could use a different colorway with it and really get some major contrast going on here. So, I mean, like this is Raspberry, which is another colorway that I have in the shop. And like that would be some high contrast if you wanted something high contrast. So you could go wild. You could just match a bunch of these. All right, I have one more, you guys. I dyed up 6 new colorways. I am so ecstatic. All right, this next one is, I think, my favorite. I don't know. It's really hard because I like a lot of them. I really do. Strawberry Shortcake really ranks up there. But this one, I kind of just changed the name of it. I had another idea for the name, but this, I think, is a better name for it. This is Nostalgia. And it's extremely hard to photograph this color. It is a very pastel looking tonal, very, very light, kind of violet colorway. And it has kind of a lilac look to it, I guess. You could call it like a lilac. It's a very light lilac colorway. And it has speckling throughout, very subtle speckling. So I don't have a lot of speckles, just a little bit here and there, because I just wanted a little bit. And this just reminds me of my childhood with my, I don't know, did anybody have like My Little Pony growing up and those kind of toys? That's what I grew up with. I'm gonna date myself here, but My Little Pony was huge, and Strawberry Shortcake and all of that when I was little. So nostalgia, that's what this colorway is. It reminds me of my childhood so much. I love it. I cannot wait to knit a pair of socks with this. This is a definitely a fingering weight, great for socks. It is a merino nylon blend. I just love it. I love it so much. This is a really, really hard. This is closer to the colorway color when I hold it back here. When I get too close, it really blasts it out. But it is so, so pretty. Oh my gosh, I want to knit with it so bad. I want to knit with it. I just dyed these up the other day, you guys, and I literally cannot stand not knitting with them. But I have so much I need to knit still that I have to be patient. But I really, really want to knit this. So once I'm able to, I'm going to get these puppies this on the needles, and I want to knit a pair of socks with this so bad. And I feel like, okay, there's a couple colorways here that I would love to put together. I would love to put nostalgia with Strawberry Shortcake. Seriously, do you see how cute that is? How cute is that? Is this not the most fun? Like, oh my gosh, this just reminds me of my childhood so much. It makes me so excited. I don't know, like Barbies, like, does this not just read Barbie to you? It does to me. And this would be really pretty contrast as well. Raspberry with nostalgia. I can't get over it. Like, you could just do so much wonderful contrasting with these colorways. And you could do high and low contrast like this, or you could do contrast with them together. But oh my gosh, I can't. I'm so excited. I can't even formulate sentences now, you guys. All right. Goodness. Okay. Finished object. I did finish an object. This is a commission piece that will be a gift for someone. And it is the Majoran hat. I can't figure out how to say that. It's by Raven Sherbo is the designer, and it is using my Multifarious Nature colorway in Brunhilde's hair, which I love this colorway. It is such a beautiful purple. It's so stunning. And it has slight variegation to it, but mainly a tonal, definitely a tonal, but a subtle tonal. And it adds such dimension to this knit. So cute. This is a little slouchy hat. Very fun pattern to knit. So if you're looking for a fun little hat pattern that you could easily use a 100-gram skein of fingering weight, I used I still had some left over. So I definitely got good use out of this yarn. So I just had a little bit left over. I'm super excited about it. And I know that the person that gets this is just going to love it because they're a huge purple fan. And Brunhilde's hair is my go-to purple, you guys. But even like that with nostalgia, wouldn't that be so beautiful? I think that combination would be an excellent contrast if you're looking for some brioche. Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to knit with these colorways, you guys. All right. So that was my finished object. Work in progress, the one I've been talking about since the beginning of this video, is the Shellography by Stephen West. So I'm still working on it. Oh, I need to finish it, you guys. I need to finish it. As I said, Christmas is right around the corner. December 1st, actually, is right around the corner, which is Advent which is the beginning of my Advent calendar countdown. And I need to make sure that I can work on that shawl as well as all the other projects I need to work on. but I definitely need to get that cast on immediately starting December 1st because I want to do that. And here is my advent calendar behind me. This is my Multifarious Nature advent calendar, but I, instead of using the little paper bags for my calendar, I used these little handmade bags that I made. Just stitched them up and then I embroidered a little number on them. So this is just for myself, but it has one of my colorways in the same order. So this will be the same order as the advent that everybody else will get when they purchase it from Multifarious Nature. And I will open it each day with you guys. And there I included a little tea bag in there for myself just because I wanted to add a little something extra. And then I have that and my day 25 and my little Christmas tree here, a little mini. I had to start putting out holiday items because that just makes me feel good right now. And here's where we're at with the shawl for you guys. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge and I need to be careful because I do not want to drop it off the needles because I'm doing brioche right now. And if you've ever dropped a brioche stitch, I know, it's a nightmare. So I don't want to drop a brioche stitch, so I'm trying to be really careful. I am on the brioche repeat here. There we go. Oh my gosh. It's starting to get so big, you guys. And I still have, this is only clue 3. I'm on clue 3. So I'm like in the middle of clue 3. I still have to get on to clue 4, and then I'm done. But I have well over 400 stitches at this point. So it is a process. So this is brioche. Now, I did the opposite of how I would normally do it. Normally you try to use your brighter of your two colors, your major contrasting color, to push forward on your right side. I actually did it the opposite because Stephen West did recommend the colorway that was used up here being used as the forward-facing color on the brioche. And he said you could totally change it, and I would, but when I looked at this, I kind of just felt that there's a lot of my squash. This is squash, by the way. So this is that one that has a slight variegation to it, very, very slight. A little bit of peachy orange in there as well. Definitely more of a yellow. And there's a lot of that forward facing here. So I felt like I needed more of, even though there's a lot of my spiced hot cocoa forward facing too, which is this super wonderful tonal brown. I just felt for balance, I wanted the brown not only at the top, I want to make sure it does follow through at the bottom here. So that's why I did it. That was my reasoning, because here's the opposite. So this is the way that brioche normally looks with that high contrast. You have that bright forward facing, it really makes it pop, and then the dark falls back to the foreground or background. The squash would come to the foreground. So that would be the way brioche normally is recommended, but you could totally do it this way too. And I just decided to do that, and I love the way it's looking. It's really fun. This is a super fun shawl, you guys. If you are looking for a shawl that will definitely challenge you and give you lots of different stitch patterning, I highly recommend this shawl. It's so much fun. And when I was here last week and I finished this triangle here of striping, and then I got the entire other triangle done, so you can tell this is literally all I've been stitching on this week. I will be very forward about that. So this whole triangle, and then the top portion of the other one, and then all this brioche I did this past week. So a lot of knitting, but on one project. So I have quite a bit to do still. Still have to finish the second half of, well, I have to finish, for one more repeat of the brioche, which will be like a whole nother section. And then the next section of clue 3, and then I can go on to clue 4. Oh, and I have like a week and a half to finish it. I mean, technically it could take longer, but no, I really want to finish this because I like to only kind of work on one type of project at a time. So I have like a sweater on the needles, I have socks on the needles, I had a hat, and I have a shawl. I want to be just working on my advent on December 1st for the shawl instead of two shawls. So I am hoping I can finish this in a week and a half. I think I can do it. I do. I think I can do it if I really buckle down and focus on it. I think I could do it. And not think about my new wonderful colorways that I just cannot wait to knit with, because it's distracting. I want to knit with them so bad, you guys. I just, which is funny because like this time of year, like this is what I was looking for, right? Fall colors. Like that is what I was looking for. And I'm so enjoying knitting with it. I'm so enjoying it. I love it. But I also really want to knit with color. I just really want to knit with fun colors. Do you get that way too? Do you bounce back and forth with your color choices? Or is it just me? So, believe it or not, actually, I did stitch like 2 rows on my other project, which I totally forgot about, but it's sitting in front of me here and I will mention it. It's the Forester sweater, which, guys, this is such a fun pattern. And I am neglecting it because I want to finish that shawl. And it's also not using my yarn. So I'm really focusing on the patterns that are using my yarn because I love knitting with it. But this is the Forester sweater. I have neglected it so much. And I really want to finish it because I would love to wear this during Christmas time. It's getting colder. Today it's actually like 50 degrees, so it's like a little bit of a heat wave. But I am wearing my sweater still. So this is, if you're not familiar, I'm trying to remember the name of this sweater. Oh, let's see if I can remember. It is not the Forester sweater. Bear with me, I'm checking my notes because I'm trying to remember the name of the sweater and I want to tell you the correct name of it. Oh, Pinewood Sweater. Pinewood Sweater by Andrea Yetman. There we go. It's a free pattern. It was a free pattern from Biscuit Yarns, and it's so beautiful. This is all using Plutalopi, which is a unspun wool. Very rustic. Not scratchy, but if you're hypersensitive to wool, maybe you would get it. I feel scratchy. Everybody's different. So, for example, my brother gave me a hug that, like, this was when I first made it, and he said, "Oh, wow, you're so like scratchy," but I'm not scratchy. Like, I feel comfortable in it. I have a tank top on under this, but that's it. So like my arms are all touching it, and it just depends. Like there are certain days where I might get a little bit of a tickle around my neck, but that's about it. I don't really get itchy otherwise. It's so warm. I think the colorway was Deep Woods. I think it's Deep Woods, and then Plum. I think this is Plum. It's a really pretty like burgundy colorway. So this was my first color work long sleeve sweater. I like ballerina and 3/4 sleeves because when you're like doing a lot with your hands, having shorter sleeves is handy. So that's kind of my preference for the most part. But that was a tangent. That's just what I'm wearing. So again, back to the Forester sweater. So this is using Lion Brand, which you can find at probably Joann's. That's where I got it, Joann Fabrics, here in the States. And then this is the Plutalopi. This is actually the leftover. I bought a bunch of it for this sweater, and I ended up having a bunch left. So I am using that for the color work on this one. And beautiful pattern. Very, very pretty pattern. I haven't obviously worn it yet or anything, so I can't really give you a real rating on how comfortable it is. But I mean, touch-wise, so by feeling the Plutalopi and then feeling the Lions brand fisherman wool, this is 100% wool. They have some fisherman wool that is blended, like tweedy, and it has acrylic in it, but this is just wool. And it feels pretty soft. It's definitely softer than the Plutalopi. So yeah, I definitely like the feel of it so far, to just the touch for hand. But I haven't worn it yet, so I can't really account for how warm it is or anything like that. But so far I really like it. And I only knit like 4 rows, you guys. That's all I did this week. I really didn't do much on it. I'm not even kidding. And this is the cutest little charm by Lock and Lou. Isn't that so cute, little sunshine? So, yeah, that's all I've done. I need to do a inventory, actually, of my needles because, one, I want to do the Shake It Up shawl starting December 1st, and then that's with my Advent. I don't know why, I just got like so congested instantly. I'm allergic to this room, apparently. Oh my goodness. But I need to make sure I have needles for that shawl because I could definitely use the huge 50, I think it's a 50-inch cable that I'm using for that shawl when I finish it, which would totally work. That'd be fine. Because otherwise I think I have all of my 32-inch needles in projects because I have them in this sweater, and I'm pretty sure I have my second one. I only have usually 1 cable of each size, but I have 2 32s because I use it a lot. And then I have a 19-inch cable I just freed up. That was from, or 16-inch. That was from the hat. But I can't use a 16-inch for the shawl. I need a lot more room. So, but believe it or not, you can use a 32-inch cable for the Shake It Up shawl. Highly recommend that pattern, by the way, you guys. If you're doing an Advent, I highly recommend it. It's not an Advent pattern, but you can adapt it. Easily adapt it for Advent. You just have to kind of be flexible. If you are really diligent about knitting, like, and getting each colorway done each day, you could totally knit it with me and kind of take the lead with how I'll try to be more specific about how I'm knitting it without giving too much away because it was a paid for pattern. So I'm just gonna have to say section and leave it at that. But I can tell you which colorway, which day I'm on, and which section I'm in. I guess I could do that. I just can't give away specifics because Shake It Up Shawl is a paid for pattern by Anna Johanna or Anna Joanna. I'm not sure how you say her last name, but that is that. And yeah, so Forester Sweater, and that is by Olga Putano. Very, very fun. And so far now I'm in the stockinette area where you're just going around and around, and then there'll be some ribbing at the bottom, and then the sleeves will be stockinette until I get to near the wrist, and then there'll be a little bit of color work at the wrist, and then I believe there'll be more ribbing on the wrist. So getting there. This is not a priority though right now, even though I'd love to have it for Christmas. But because I went crazy and really wanted to do the Shake It Up shawl, shawlography, I need to get that done so that way I can do my Shake It Up shawl for the Advent. And then maybe while I'm doing my Advent, I will work on the Forester sweater. I also have a pair of socks I should finish. I want the Forester sweater done before the socks, I think. guys, there's just so many projects. I used to be a one project knitter, so I'm monogamous, and I have been lately with the shawlography. Definitely been monogamous with that for the most part. But then I usually try not to go over 3 projects at a time, because if I go over 3, it can become overwhelming. And I think I have more than 3, you guys. And what usually happens then is that projects get neglected. Oh well. Do you guys have that problem? Are you a monogamous knitter? Do you knit on multiple projects at once? What is your method for knitting? I would love to hear your process. Like, do you knit so much a day on one project? Like, do you split up which project you work on by day? Do you knit on certain projects like on your lunch break, and then knit on different projects in the evening? I've done that before, and that actually seemed to be a really good way to divide up projects, so that way you're not always knitting on the same thing. If you want variety, not only is that good for just variety, but it's good for variety for your fingers. If you're working with different size needles, it helps with your fingers not hurting and all that. But I'd love to hear your process. Please share in the comments below. What is your knitting style? Are you a monogamous knitter? Do you knit multiple projects? Yeah. What projects are you working on? Like, what pattern are you working on? Are you just doing your own thing? Is there a pattern that you are following? I would love to hear about that below. Are you working on the shawlography? I'd love to see your shawlography. Please share in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're happy, healthy, and holiday season coming up here. So lots of traveling, spending time with family, which is so grateful that we are able to do that. And yeah, we'll be heading to the Chicago area this week for Thanksgiving, and then making the trek back. It is definitely always a trek, but it's worth it. And hopefully the weather will be kind to us so that we can travel safely. And I hope you guys travel safely if you are traveling to go see family, and I hope you get to where your destination is safely. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And I will catch up with you soon. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Take care. Bye.